Italy. You know, the name itself just conjures up these incredible images, right? Ancient ruins, mind-blowing Renaissance art, timeless traditions. But there's another story unfolding right alongside all that amazing history. It's a story of innovation, of education, and of a nation that's actively building its own future. And it all starts with a pretty simple question. So, seriously, when you picture Italy today, what's the first thing you see? Is it the Colosseum, or is it a high-tech lab? The art of the past, or the technology of tomorrow? It's a great question because the reality is, well, it's so much more complex and, honestly, way more exciting than the stereotypes. I want you to think of it like this. Italy is a living laboratory. Instead of just putting its heritage behind glass in a museum, it's actually plugging it into the future. What you get is this powerful, fascinating blend of high tech and history, and you see it especially in education and culture. And what's really amazing is that this change isn't just some top-down directive. Nope, it's bubbling up from the ground, starting right in the classroom, where students themselves are stepping up to empower the next generation. Take a look at this number. 1,600. That is how many middle schoolers are getting a huge academic leg up from a project called Compiti at Casa, which basically means homework at home. But trust me, this is not your average tutoring program. The whole model here is what's so smart. Get this, 840 university students are trained and paid to become tutors for younger kids who are falling behind. It creates this absolutely brilliant peer-to-peer support system that covers everything from science to the humanities, and it directly fights educational inequality right where it starts. And the mission? It couldn't be clearer. The project manager, Barbara Guadani, says it perfectly. It is just unacceptable for young students to struggle because of circumstances they have zero control over. This whole project is about stepping in to fight that frustration and build these kids' confidence back up. But this spirit of students helping others goes way beyond academics. If we head over to Palermo in Sicily, students are learning lessons you just can't find in any textbook. They're actually volunteering in social housing, working side by side with people serving criminal sentences. The impact is just profound. You have to hear what Salvatore, an 18-year-old volunteer, said about it. His experience teaches a lesson in empathy and humanity that, you're just never going to get from reading a book. So these local projects are incredible, but they're just one piece of the puzzle. Now let's zoom out and see how Italy is taking that exact same innovative spirit and using it to reinvent its most famous assets, its entire national approach to art and information. Okay, first up, a massive nationwide reform of the country's higher artistic, musical, and dance education system. They call it IFAM. And this isn't just a little adjustment. We're talking a complete reimagining of how creativity is taught at the very highest level. This whole reform is built on four really powerful ideas. First, they're breaking down the old silos, creating one unified system for all the arts. Second, they're updating what's being taught, bringing in totally modern fields like street art and even AI-driven art. The whole point is to mix disciplines and, this is huge, to standardize the system so that an arts education finally carries the same weight as a traditional university degree. But modernizing culture isn't just about painting and sculpture. It's also about information. In the world we live in, maybe the most important new skill is learning how to spot the difference between fact and fiction. And Italy is tackling this head on. A recent EU survey found something really interesting and kind of scary. Young people see a ton of fake news online, but they're also super confident that they can spot it. It's this dangerous gap between what they think they know and reality that a project called Meet Me at School is trying to close. And they are not doing it the old-fashioned way. Forget boring lectures. This new method is all about being hands-on. Students literally become digital detectives. They actively investigate real and fake news stories, they analyze their own research methods, and they learn to think critically about everything they see online. Okay, so with all this investment in people, in new ideas, what are the results? Well, they're definitely showing up, and they're showing up on the world stage in everything from global rankings to huge national celebrations of culture. Let's start with an absolute powerhouse performance. For the fifth year in a row, Rome's La Sapienza University has been ranked #1 in the world for classics and ancient history. This just goes to show that even as Italy innovates, it is still the undisputed global leader in its traditional areas of strength. And it is not just Sapienza. This level of excellence is all over the country.
The Polytechnic University of Milan is a giant in design and engineering. Bocconi is top tier for economics. Pisa and Venice are both in the world's top 10 for classical studies and art history. You get the picture. It's a country with some serious academic firepower.
And this celebration of culture isn't just happening in the universities. The city of Pordenone was just named the Italian Capital of Culture for 2027. That's a huge honor, and it comes with a €1 million investment to make their cultural vision a reality. The mayor's reaction really says it all. For him, this award is about so much more than just the money. It's about reshaping the city's identity. It's a chance to break free from old stereotypes and show the world the vibrant, amazing culture that's alive and well there. So, what's the big picture here? When you put it all together, what can we learn from Italy's approach? It's really about building a dynamic, exciting future on top of an ancient, solid foundation.
So, what's Italy's blueprint for innovation? It's pretty clear, right? You invest in your young people, you modernize your core institutions, you teach critical thinking like it's a survival skill. And, this is the most important part, you use your unique cultural history not as a museum piece, but as the engine for your future. And that really leaves us with one last thing to think about. Italy is proving that the past and the future aren't enemies. They can work together. So the question for all of us is, how can we use our own history, our own heritage, as a springboard, as a catalyst for creating whatever comes next?